Dave Palumbo here with Jason Hood, and we are going to be looking at some amazing blackhead pythons. I love these. Jason, first of all, I know I said this before, this is our second take on this one because we had a little audio issue, but 6'8", huh?
Yeah.
I hate feeling like a midget, but sometimes I'm a midget.
It's rough being a little guy once in a while.
That's right. How'd you get into blackheads?
Just had a great opportunity, a few tax returns and a bunch of payment plans, and finally got some good animals. My stuff originally came from Split Rock Reptiles. He does a great job out there.
Yeah.
But I've taken them and kind of improved on them over the years. Got a stellar male that I bred back into the line, and they went from being nice to just that next level.
These don't look like the normal blackheads you see. I'm just going to open this up here just to show people. I mean, this is a super clean animal. Look at this. I mean, this has got yellows and oranges in it. I've never seen here quite like this.
This is a direct comparison to, this is an Xanthic line, but it's not out of my Swiss stuff.
Right.
So you've got that darker coloration, so
wow,
you can see the variance.
Yeah, look how clean this is. And this stays like this, right, into adulthood?
They'll clean up a little bit more. They'll get a buttery yellow color as they get larger, lose a little bit of the orange, and the blacks seem to isolate as they get larger.
Wow.
I think also because of the size, they just kind of that black saddle, and to me they look better as adults, but they're not as vibrant, of course.
Right.
I mean, adults are always a little bit,
Of course, in
less.
any species.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question: has there been a lot of selection breeding in terms of line breeding with these to try to clean them up more and more? I know they do that a lot in Australia. Is that something that you've been focusing on too?
Yeah, like I said, the original animals I got were nice, and I got one beautiful animal, one beautiful male, and I brought that back into the line, and it went from I'm making really nice animals to like just blew me away looking at my own stuff constantly.
So you're holding back a lot of the good stuff, obviously, that are cleaner and cleaner, and then trying
when
to
I can,
that,
finances are what they are. So I've sold some animals I wish I didn't.
Believe me, I've been there too.
Yeah.
Now, how old do these things have to be before they're going to be breeding?
That's going to depend on how you feed them. Anywhere from, I do mine around 4 years, but you can go, if you slow feed them, you're going to go more to 6 to 8 years to get them to actually breed for the first time.
Okay. Average 4 years probably, the earliest?
There are guys who overfeed, they power feed. You can get them up at 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Australians do it in 2 years. The K brothers, who were absolutely the monsters of producing these, they broke every rule we have here in the U.S. about if you can feed them heavy, how much you feed them, how frequently. They were, getting these things up to size in 2 years, producing babies. Animals live long lives. So, there's a lot of stuff that we hear on the internet that's, you take it at face value.
Do you cycle feed these things? Before the breeding season, pump them with a lot of food, and then maybe during the breeding season, calm them down?
They go off food rather, basically Halloween, and they go off heat at Thanksgiving, and then they don't really get any, unless I'm in Florida, so if we've got 85-degree winters, then they get some food. They'll get a small, medium rat or something. But if we've got nice, cool temperatures, they don't get any food, and I shoot to get them down as low as I can. I let my building get as cold as it can get.
How cold can you get them where you're from?
50s is.
You can get them that low?
Well, if we get a super cold front and the building cools down
For some reason, I think my building's too well insulated because I have to put the air conditioning on, even if it's 50 degrees outside.
I got a roll-up door and some exhaust fans.
You're cheating, that's
so
right.
I can suck in some cold air pretty quick.
Let's look at that axanthic. Show us a really nice axanthic, because axanthic removes, obviously, the yellows, and it gives you, I think really axanthic works really well with a blackhead, because obviously it's got a black head, so what better to have to match that black head than the rest of the body. So are there different lines of axanthic, and are there ones that you like better than others?
As far as I've bred personally, I just have this one line. A couple of guys are saying there's multiple lines. I haven't seen the breedings. I don't know, but if you believe what people are telling you, then there's apparently 2 lines. I just don't know how we went from none to 2 different lines. Virtually overnight. Within a couple of years.
That's kind of weird. Now, where do these come in from? Like Europe?
As far as I know the history, Doug Price had some animals that were odd looking
Okay.
that got picked up. Those animals were bred, produced exanthics out of those.
Okay.
I heard rumors that Dick Gorgon, I can't remember his last name, that he had some animals that could have been exanthics back in the day he was calling westerns, but I don't know how true that is. I never saw those myself.
Right.
But I mean, if you look at some of the head exanthics,
Right.
they kind of have a dirtier look, and there's some like telltale pattern variances on them.
Right.
So there's, you know, if it was a ball python, we call those markers, and you know, you could tell which ones were.
Or it's really an incomplete dominant, and we're not classifying it right. Now this one looks like this axanthic has like a lot more white in it. Are you breeding for certain like looks, like more white and black?
It's just the same parents. That just
Yeah.
that one just wasn't as good looking as the ones this year, in my opinion.
Okay. So you like the darker ones?
I like the cleaner it looked like this. I really want to get the Swiss line into these, clean it up,
Right.
and get the space out those saddles, clean up those sides, and just really make it really stark black and white.
Right.
Like
Now,
you're saying, it's a great look. So let's expand on it and go
Absolutely.
deeper with it.
Absolutely. Now you're saying also, we talked about previously in the first take, it's important that these have enough room
Yeah.
to move around, because people put them in too small of a cage or a tub and then they get fat. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I would definitely recommend a 6-foot vision cage for the adults.
Okay.
That's just what I like. Whatever cage you like, but at least get them something that's big. I mean, my dream is to get them where I can open up some doors between cages that are adjoined and have 12 or 18 feet of space for a trio to go back and forth
Awesome,
in.
yeah.
I mean,
Are they as big? Do they get as big as olive pythons, these guys, or no?
mine are all 7, 8 feet. I had
pretty
a
nice
couple
size.
that got up to 9,
Okay.
but they're you can get them up to 10 to 14 feet
Right,
if
if you overfeed 'em,
feed
yeah.
the crap out of them. But on a decent diet, they should be somewhere in the 7 to 8 foot range, in my opinion. And I mean, some guys have them smaller, but these guys at 7 to 8 feet produce 10 eggs a clutch on average.
That's great.
If they're smaller, they produce 4 to 6 eggs a clutch.
Yeah.
So
and you said they're a pain in the neck to get feeding too. So
Yeah.
you got to be very patient with these. So this is something to consider if you're going to buy this. Number one, you need a big enough cage. You don't want to overfeed them, and you got to be very patient once you produce eggs, because they might want birds when they're first hatched out, right?
yeah, it's just easier to assist with the quail chicks.
Right.
But yeah, anybody that's interested or anybody's got, I'm always happy to help everybody. In my opinion, if I can get more people producing these, and I get more people that are successful with them, I'll have more people that want them.
That's right.
Because one of the problems I think we have is there's people that think that these are impossible.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're
Or
they're
that
super
they have
easy.
bad personalities. And look at this, I'm holding this.
No, these are starter snakes in Australia. These are Australian corn snakes. They're just, we just have them priced up because we had so many people have problems with them. But there was an overfeeding obesity issue in the 80s when everything was obese. When corn snakes had rolls, like, I mean, if they have
Don't
rolls,
overfeed.
you got problems. But you need to feed them well
Pablo,
enough.
you listening?
You need to have them fed well enough to have the calories to produce eggs. So there's a balance there, and you have to run that balance properly. I feed them weekly. They get large rats. I'm told that's going to kill them. I've got 17-year-old animals that are still producing, or 18 years old animals.
Same thing. I feed my boas. Oh, you can't feed them rats. I'm like, I don't want to feed them rabbits. I give them smaller prey. But hey, Jason, thanks so much.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck today at the reptile show. I think you have some amazing animals. I'm sure you're going to do awesome.
Thank you.